Welcome back to Boxing After Dark with Pedro Justice. Tonight we're talking about Terence Crawford versus Kell Brook, the weigh-in, and also their appearance on Max on Boxing. The reason I'm running this back is because everything is A-OK. You can hear me properly now. And so without further ado, let go. Terence Crawford, Kell Brook, today at the weigh-in. If you did not see it, you missed the show. Finally, there were some fireworks. Finally, it seemed as though there was a fight on Saturday. Now, as I said before, Terence Crawford has been getting the economy package from Top Rank. And what I mean by that is they do the bare minimum to promote his fights. And that's why they count on the fact that ESPN is a sports network and that football will be on before the fight. And then the audience, if half of them leave, that's still enough to get good numbers for the fight. Then they have Max on Boxing scheduled. So they just piggyback off of that. It's a boxing show. It's coming on. Go ahead and get the fighters to jump on there after weigh-in and use that. Now, is it effective for today? Yes, it is. But there's people who may not have seen that. They were getting off of work and they missed it. And all week, they don't know what's going on. I talked to people today. I talked to people this week. They did not know Terence Crawford's fight was actually this weekend. Why? Because with the Top Rank economy package, you get little promotion. Now, if it's Lomachenko, then it's everywhere. They're blasting ads everywhere. I believe they need to put some respect on Terence Crawford's name. And that's why an article came out today from The Athletic saying, hey, they're not happy. Terence Crawford, Bomac, they're not happy. We're not happy here. And so they need to get him big fights. But back to business. The weigh-in, it was great. They both made weight. Kell Brook came in at 147 on the dot. Terence Crawford came in at 146 and some change. He's a smaller man. And because he's a smaller man, Kell Brook kept letting him know, I'm bigger than you. You gonna let me rehydrate? Thank you. Thank you, because now I'm finna beat you up, embarrass you in front of your family, embarrass you on national television. Because I'm Kell Brook, and I'm from Sheffield, England. And you don't know nothing about my block. And Terence Crawford's like, hold up, man. I'm Terence Bud Crawford, the #1 pound for pound boxer in the world. All of the people hating on me is because I'm that good. And if they don't hate you, that means you're not doing nothing. And that is what Terence Crawford is banking on. He's not trying to come out here and be flashy. He means business. They say he has a mean streak, and that he does. Terence Crawford is not for play. And so once they start jawing, the ring girls, they're not even supposed to be paying attention to what's going on there. They're supposed to look ahead. They can't smile because they have the mask on, but they're supposed to be in great shape, look forward. What were they doing? They were watching them going at each other because it was intense. Two athletes at their peak, ready to go. And even the ring girls had to pay attention to it. Like I said, Kell Brook is like, hey, you a little dude. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to bully you. And Terence Crawford's like, hold up. You could come in at 170, 180, 200 pounds. It don't matter. I can fill out too. And I'm going to show you. Show me then on fight night. Show me. And I believe that Kell Brook got his goal accomplished. Kell Brook was trying to get under Terence Crawford's skin. And he did that. Now, you got his attention. What do you got to do with that attention? You got to back it up. You have to represent for Sheffield, England. They did a lot of talking. They did a lot of jawing. And what do they have to show for it? Well, after that, guess what they did? They went in, hopped on Max on Boxing. They hopped on there, and then Max was on one today. He was doing too much, asking questions, trying to get a Emmy or something. I don't know. He was on one today. But you could tell that Terence Crawford was agitated with Kell Brook. Look at Kell Brook's face. He could give two you-know-whats. He doesn't care. Kell Brook looks like he means business. Terence Crawford's like, oh, really? Here's my thing. I don't want to hear excuses. I could care less about rehydration. I don't want to hear that he was weight drained. He got beat. He got his eye socket busted twice. Now he's in this fight. After this, there'll be no excuses. Terence Crawford is ready. Kell Brook's ready. Are you ready? Are you ready to see this? Because I'm ready to see this. Now, Terence Crawford, for some reason, Max Kellerman was asking him questions, and he's like, Terence, what you got to say? And Terence Crawford's like, I'm done talking. And Max was like, well, you can't be done talking because this is what you came on here for. Basically, if they could fight tonight, they would get in the ring. I don't believe this is an act. I believe that Bud is ready to show Kell Brook that he bit off more than he could chew. And Kell Brook is like, you need to look in the mirror and see that I am not your regular fighter. You've never been in the ring with anyone like me before. I've been in the ring with Errol Spence. I've been in the ring with Triple G. And guess what, Terence? You're not those guys. And Terence Crawford's like, yeah, I know I'm better than them. I am number one pound for pound. I am the best fighter that you faced. And so I like the fact that Kell Brook was standing up for himself because people are doubting him. He's the underdog. But then there's this contingent of people who do not like Terence Crawford for some reason. No matter how many weight divisions he jumps up, no matter what he does, there's people who call his fans bud tenders and all of these cute little names, and they don't put any respect on Terence Crawford's name. And so as the boxing world and the boxing public, they put him up at a high standard, number one pound for pound per ESPN on their list. For some reason, certain people still find excuses to not give Terence Crawford his just due. And they say he hadn't fought Errol Spence. Well, I mean, they're trying to make the fight. Max made it seem as though that PBC was ducking Terence Crawford. I don't believe anybody's ducking anybody. I believe that Bob Arum and his economy package, he is trying to get it for the low. And if Bud Crawford wants to make these fights and set up a path to face Errol Spence, to face Keith Thurman, to face Danny Garcia and Sean Porter, he's going to have to leave Top Rank. I don't believe it can happen with Top Rank as long as they're doing what they're doing with this economy package. Now, if it was Lomachenko, guess what? They would get that fight. If you listen closely to Bob Arum, you'll hear it in his voice. He is on the economy package. He does not want to give Terence Crawford what he wants, and therefore Terence Crawford needs to leave. But back to this interview on Max on Boxing. Max Kellerman was trying to get them to give up their game plan, which they're not. At one point, he asked Terence Crawford, I feel you're the pound for pound best. ESPN has you pound for pound best. I see you have you had a mask on saying that you were number one pound for pound. Are you finally ready to admit that you're the best? And he said, hey, somebody made that for me. I wore it. Simple as that. You're not going to get me to gas myself up. All I want to do is get in this ring and shut Kell Brook up. And Kell Brook is like, hey, I'm not here to let you do what you think you want to do. I'm going to show everybody. I'm going to shock the world. And you better bet on me. I'm in the best shape of my life. You've messed up letting me rehydrate to whatever I want to rehydrate to. And now you're going to face the consequence. And basically, Terence Crawford has this mean streak. Terence Crawford is supremely confident in himself. And I believe he let Kell Brook rehydrate to whatever he wants because he wants to show you I spar heavyweights. I spar cruiserweights, I spar light heavyweights and middleweights, and Kell Brook is not on the level of any person I've faced before. I'm going to make easy work of him. Now, if Kell Brook comes in here like the Kell Brook that I've seen in his last two fights, Terence Crawford is going to make easy work of Kell Brook because in these fights, Kell Brook looks slow. He looks uninspired. He looks as though his balance is not where it needs to be. His punches look in slow motion. It looks as though he needs you to stand still So he's using his jab as a range finder, and his punches, his uppercuts. I mean, if this guy that he's facing, Rabchenko, had better reflexes, he would have hit Kell Brook. But instead, Kell Brook beat him to the punch, and it was a slow punch. It was not what it needed to be. Kell Brook does have power, but not concussive, devastating power. If Terence just stays there and gets hit a lot, then yeah, he could put Terence Crawford down because he is a bigger guy. And that's what he's banking on, is that I'm the bigger guy. I'm still the same guy who was winning rounds against Triple G. I'm still the same guy that was winning rounds against Errol Spence. I'm still that guy. And Terence Crawford is like, no, you're not that guy. I'm going to do you like I did Amir Khan, your buddy, your friend, your countryman. Bow! I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to put you down. The referee's going to have to stop it. You're not in my league. I'm going to show you're not in my league. Kell Brook, Terence Crawford. Are you finally ready? Are you ready? I think Terence Crawford has something to prove now. The fact that Terence Crawford has something to prove because Kell Brook is now not going to be just a person in the ring. He's going to be somebody who's going to try to use his size advantage and try to bully Terence Crawford. But I don't think he knows that Terence Crawford actually believes that he's the bully. Terence Crawford believes that he is the one who will impose his will on one Kell Brook, and Kell Brook will not know what hit him. Now that the trash talk is done, now that they've made weight, it's on and popping. I hope that this fight lives up to the weigh-in and the press conference, and that they let their hands go, that they let it go. I want to see the best Kell Brook that I've ever seen, because I think Bud needs to be tested. But if Kell Brook comes in here and he just looks the part, but he's not the part, and he's not on his game, and he's slow, and after 5 rounds, his tank runs out, I believe Terence Crawford's going to go to that body like Bomac wants, and he's going to basically let him get it out of his system, and then Terence Crawford is going to go to work. Are you excited? Are you ready? Let me know what you think. Until next time, it's your boy, Pedro Justice.